What's up, everyone? Excited to give you this video today about Carvana. So shares are down about 15% right now on two major news stories. One accusing Carvana of fraud, which I think is totally bogus, and I'll go into my reasoning behind that. And then the second reason is CarMax competitor does basically the same thing that Carvana does, reported better than expected earnings and revenue today, which is leading shares of this major competitor to rise by 10%. So I will go into why I don't think that's a huge deal either. But let me first start off with this Forbes article about the Carvana scandal. So Hypersport Industries is an automotive recognition contractor which quote unquote benefited from Carvana's rapid growth. So basically, I read this whole thing and I'll just summarize it for you. So this partnership was advantageous for this company because Hypersport was able to make certain alterations to Carvana cars. So let's say Carvana gets a car in and it has a ding in it or it has a paint scratch, that this company would basically go and take that ding, fix that paint scratch, and then Carvana would obviously pay them for that. What a single quality control person who worked at Carvana, who isn't a current employee, worked there like in 2019, he is saying that basically this company was overcharging Carvana for the repairs it was doing to their cars. And the where the fraud comes in is apparently some of the C-suite people owned some type of had some type of ownership in this small hypersport company. So basically, they this is all alleged by one single person. Basically, they're alleging that Hypersport, they were almost funneling money from Carvana to Hypersport by overcharging Carvana for services, charging for services that never even took place. All alleged here by this article in the Forbes news station. But what I want to stress here is there hasn't been a single like a single fraud allegation from the government. So this is all hearsay at this point in time. This is a story. This is nothing firm. There isn't a investigation pending even. There is nothing to this currently. Now, of course, sometimes allegations lead to lawsuits, which lead to the government getting involved, and fines and all those things. But as of right now, this is words on a sheet of paper. There's nothing to this right now. So I just want to stress that one point, that as of right now, this means literally nothing, but it's forcing shares lower anyway. So I'll leave that there. I'll link this article in the description below if you want to read through it. Honestly, it's pretty lengthy, and I just read the whole thing. I think that summary is pretty good, but if you want to read through it, I'll link it below. But like I said, I'm not super worried about this. As of right now, it's just simply words on paper. There isn't anything happening because of this right now. So the second kind of news event that's pushing shares lower is we're seeing CarMax, which is a peer of Carvana, report better than expected earnings. I'm not worried about this at all either. And well, first off, just to tell you why this is affecting Carvana, it's really because, let's say, just to give an example, if Ford reports better than expected earnings, well, then likely GM, a close competitor, will move lower off of their counterpart reporting better than expected earnings. So that's typically how the dynamic works between competing stocks like CarMax and Carvana. Why I think it's a little different for this in this situation is because If you remember, 2 or 3 weeks ago, we had gotten a bullish news event from an increase in CPI, an increase in used car prices, which we saw within the CPI report. I think it was mid June. Um, and that led to shares of Carvana moving higher because obviously, if used car prices move higher, well, then their existing fleet of used cars becomes more valuable, right? And that works the same way for CarMax. So what I think this is CarMax is telling us that this business is very strong right now, which once Carvana reports in early August, well, we might be, kind of seeing that benefit from those higher used car prices. We may be, benefiting from exactly what CarMax is benefiting from right now. Today may be their day in the sun because they're reporting earnings, but once Carvana reports earnings in early August, that could all change and things could swing in Carvana's favor. So, yes, obviously when a close peer reports better than expected earnings, capital immediately flows to that peer, but at the end of the day, the fundamental reasons as to why this stock outperformed, which is likely caused by higher used car prices, is going to benefit Carvana as well. So we're not seeing that benefit today, but on August 3rd, once we report, I do believe Carvana will see that benefit. So it's hurting shares today, but long term, for the next quarter, I don't think it will be such a big deal. I think it will likely help the stock. So yes, today shares are moving lower. But with that being said, we're still above that major support level at $20, which is where shares had topped out in February. So, we're still above this major level and we're coming down to test it. And we actually tested this level in early June. I had put out a video basically saying that I thought this level would hold. Then we obviously got a move higher of over 30%. So pretty proud of that. And also, just for those keeping score at home, I did put out a video when shares were about $6, 2-3 months ago, on this channel. So if you're not subscribed, subscribe. But with that being said, let me start the self promo. So we're above this major support level. Also, this is very notable. So on Wednesday of this week, the 21st, we got the 50-day moving average crossing above the 200-day moving average, which for those that don't know is called a golden cross, and basically just shows you that momentum is very bullish. It's a signal of bullish momentum. So good to see there. Definitely showing a strong buy signal for Carvana with that golden cross. And also with this pullback, I really see this pullback as a healthy move lower in a larger uptrend. So we're literally just moving off of overbought conditions according to RSI. So if we continue to kind of stagnate here and move lower to support, and RSI the overbought conditions within RSI continue to subside, well, I think that's kind of the perfect storm for the next leg higher for Carvana. So my official prediction is we likely continue to consolidate, move down to this $20 support level, then continue higher over the coming weeks. In terms of where we, end up, well, the next major level of resistance is about $30.70, which is where shares had bottomed out in September of 2022. It's also where shares had topped out in June of 2022. So definitely a couple major touch points there. And for those that don't know how support and resistance works, basically the more amount of touch points you can get, the more significant a support or resistance level is. And just on this one here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, touch points in the past 12 months for that level. So definitely do think this level is pretty significant. If we come up to this level, I likely we likely will consolidate or at least stagnate a bit. Doesn't mean that we won't break this level eventually. It just means it will be somewhat hard to, right? And when I say hard, meaning that it can be done, but if you come up to test that level when shares are overbought according to RSI, it's going to be a little tougher, right? But if you come up to test that level in a nice gradual pace, right, where shares aren't overbought according to RSI, then I do think it's a little easier to break that level. But with that being said, I will jump into some seasonality trends. So just to summarize quickly though, my price prediction is we likely come down to 20, then move up to $30 over the coming weeks. So that's my short-term price prediction for the stock. Obviously, I like the stock. I've liked it for a while. And then if we look at some seasonality trends here, we'll see that seasonally, we're in a great spot for Carvana. So for those that haven't seen me go through one of these screens before, basically this just shows the average monthly return for shares in this specific month. So for example, for June, shares typically rise 34%. It's actually the second most bullish month, but you can see here that the top 3 months are June, July, and August. So we're moving into an amazing seasonal time for Carvana shares. So we have bullish fundamental news, I believe, on the horizon in terms of higher used car prices affecting earnings positively. And then we have bullish technicals as we come down to that $20 support level as overbought conditions subside, as we get a golden cross as well. And then as the kicker here, we have a bullish seasonality trend. The top 3 months in terms of performance are the current month plus the next 2 months. So really all the all the stars seem like they are aligning for the stock to continue higher. So that's my official prediction for Carvana. Called it out at 6, called it out at $20 a couple weeks ago, or maybe just like 10 days ago. So I do think we get another leg higher for this stock. So I will end the video there. If you got some value from this video, please leave a like. We post company breakdowns and important market moving news on this channel on a daily basis, so make sure you are subscribed. If you would like to receive my daily portfolio moves, my exits, my entries, and see how me and my team of analysts are trading the markets, join the Discord through the link in the description below to get our free 7-day trial. Also, if you would like to join our free daily newsletter, sign up to our Substack, which is linked below as well. With that being said, good luck everyone. Happy trading, happy investing.